Hi everyone, welcome back in another amazing tutorial where we're going to be creating this awesome landing page. So we're going to be using React, Next.js, Tailwind CSS, and TypeScript to be able to build this project. So this is the landing page that we're going to be building. As you can see, we're having this beautiful navbar, and also we're having this hero section with this guy at the right side, and also we're having some information. And also we're having a bit of gradient color at the bottom to give this hero section a professional and a great look. Next, we're having the features section with these beautiful cards, as you can see. And also we changed a bit of colors. And next we're having the how it works section. And also we're having another image of the same guy in another position. And also we're having these beautiful cards. Next we're having uh, the section where we actually showcase the best courses with these beautiful cards with these images. And we're having the testimonials with this design. Next, we're having the newsletter. And finally, we're having the footer section. And also, the dark mode is available since we're using ShadCN. And notice here, I think it looks a lot better because we're using another color schema. So instead of using the dark color provided by ShadCN, we changed it to a blue dark color. And also notice that the cards also changed their colors. So we're gonna actually change the colors of the cards of the components, so as I'm going to show you, based on whether we are in dark mode or the light mode. And notice that everything still looks great with the dark mode as well. And finally, if we switch to the mobile size, as you can see, everything looks great in the mobile size, so there isn't the layout still looks great and all the elements still looks great in the mobile size. So this is what we are going to be building, and also we're going to use extensively this tool called BallStack. So it provides blocks to be able to create landing pages. So it's a project that I'm working on, and I'm building components, reusable components with all their logics. All you have to do, just copy and paste and use the prompts from the components to be able to actually save time and create projects like these a lot faster. So let's get started building our project. Hi everyone, welcome back. So as you can see, I'm in ballstack.dev. So the reason why, because we're going to be using a tool that I'm providing for free called Next.js boilerplate generator. So here, if you go to the tools, click on this, and you will be headed towards the stepper to be able to generate a Next.js a brand new project. So the first section or the first step, so we need to actually enter some basic information. So these informations are going to be saved inside the layout.tsx as meta data. So I'm going to actually, so this is the name of the landing page. Then I'm going to copy or paste the project description. And also, I'm going to actually choose the icon for our landing page or project. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to click on next. And the next step is related to customization. So it is a basic customization. You can be able to change the border radius, as you can see. And all the information here are going to be saved directly inside the global.css of the Next.js project. So you don't have to do this manually based on everything that you choose. So that's also, it's going to save you a lot of time. Here you can be able to choose these fonts. So I'm going to stick with the Poppins font, which is my favorite one. And finally, we are going to actually change the color. So let's click here and I'm going to paste the color so the same color that we used in the landing page. So once I'm done, so notice that everything that I'm doing at this side is going to be changed in the preview section. So I'm going to click on next. And finally, we're going to have an overview of all the things that we choose. So once I'm comfortable with all the options that I selected, I'm going to click on the generate. So that's going to generate boilerplate Next.js ready boilerplate code to use. So it's going to be downloaded. All we have to do, open up this zip file, and I'm gonna extract it in my documents. So I'm gonna create a new folder here. So this is the name of the project, and click on OK. Then, so let me open up the VS Code, and I'm gonna open up the project that we just created. So it is this one, and click on the select folder. So actually, this is the project, and I'm gonna just like uh, let's. So I'm gonna actually open up the global.css, for example. So as you can see, the global CSS, as you can see, we're having the fonts, the pop-in fonts, and all the information that we actually choose in the step number 2 are gonna be saved in the base layer. And also, if we go to the page.tsx, so here, sorry, let's go to the layout.tsx. So let me close this one. And as you can see here, so we're having the information that we added in the step number 1, and also we're having some other elements like the toaster, the theme provider, because ShadCN is installed automatically. As you can see, we can access to all the UI components. So this is what I said. It's going to be a time saver rather than doing this by yourself every time that you want to build a new project. So after this, all you have to do is just type in npm install to be able to install all the dependencies that are in the package.json. And I'm going to click on next, and all the dependencies are going to be installing. So after we installed all the dependencies, all we have to do is just type in npm run diff to run our project. So the project has been compiled successfully, so we can go back to our browser. So as you can see, if we go to the local 3000, so this is the landing page that I'm providing in the project, the Next.js project generator. So as you can see, everything is working successfully. And also notice that the colors that we choose, also the fonts, which is the pop-in font, and also we're having right off the bat the dark mode here. So everything is working. So now after we installed our Next.js projects, so we are going to start building our landing page by using the ballstack.div. So after we installed everything, now we're going to start working on building our project. But first, I need to do some of the things in the project first. So I need to get rid from the boilerplate code here in the page.tsx. I'm gonna actually delete everything, and I'm gonna create a new empty functional component and hit save. And another thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the tailwind.config.js. So I need to add some colors that we're going to be using in the dark mode, the background of our landing page. So here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the colors object here, and I'm gonna paste the colors. So those are the colors that we're gonna be using for the dark mode to be able to have the dark blue that I showed you at the demo of the project. So what it does here, we're going to access to these colors in the utility classes and the components. So this is why I added these colors. And also what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add another folder. So this folder is going to be called data. So here where we're going to be saving all the data related to each component that we are using. So once I'm done with this, so I'm going to actually start working with the first component, which is the navbar. So let's go back to the ballstack.dev, and we're going to go to the blocks section. So here in the navbar and the navbars section, so I'm going to choose the second one. And also another thing that you can access to is the docs section if you want to see some examples on how to use this component. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to copy the code, and also you can download the actual components if you want to. So here, what I'm going to do here, so I already have the navbar.jsx from the boilerplate code. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just paste the code here and save the file, and um, and then I'm going to go to the page.tsx and actually import the navbar that we just created like this. So, and let me save the file, and we're going to go back to our landing page, and let's reload the page to see the new things that we added. So I need to actually run the project. So let me type in again npm run div. So after we run the project, if we go to our browser, so as you can see, so this is the landing page already working. So all of the elements, that you can see right now are inside the navbar 2 components. So all you have to do is to actually use the prompts that I'm providing inside these components or these components, and this is what we are gonna be doing. So after we added our first new component, which is the navbar, now it is time to use the props that this component provides to be able to customize our navbar. So if we go here, and as you can see, we're having all of these prompts that we can access to customize our components. We're going to start by the domain object, and this domain object has two elements or two properties, the name and the logo. So if we actually hover over the name like this, as you can see, the type of it's going to be a React node. So I made it this way so you can be able to actually customize the name or add the components. And like sometimes we want to, just like we did the next word, we want to actually add some color to it. So you can't do this in the if this is a string. So I had to make it as a React node to be able to actually do this. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this. So this is the actual div to be able to render the scale up name of the actual navbar. And notice here we're using the text primary, so you can be able to actually set the up text as the color, the primary color. And if we go back to our landing page, as you can see, we're having our new name like this in that is associated with the name property. And the next element that we are going to be adding is the logo. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to copy the logo that we're going to be using, and I'm going to import the actual uh, component or logo from Lucid React library, and I'm going to save the file. And again, if we go back to our landing page, so as you can see, we're having our icon. So this is how we are going to proceed throughout our whole project. And notice right now, we've been able to actually do this in like very fast. So as you will see, when we start filling up or adding stuff into our navbar, so things are going to be a lot faster and you can do a lot more things in a short period of time. So this is the value of using reusable component. So after we added our first prompt into the navbar2 component, so the next thing that I'm going to add is the array or the menu elements that we are going to be using. First thing first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create inside the data folder a new file called navbar data like this .tsx, and I'm gonna paste this array that we're gonna be using. So this menu item type, we're going to import it from the component itself. And after I did this, so let me explain very quickly what is going on here. So this is an array, and as you can see, this array has for each object has the title and the URL properties. So we added it as const because as I'm going to show you, because we are going to create another function and we want to make it type safe. So that's why we add it as const, and we're going to create a new array called nav main menu, and we're going to loop through this each element inside this array, and we are going to actually associate it or save it inside the nav main menu. So you will understand why we did so once we start working with other functions that we're going to be using inside the navbar component. So after I did this, so the next element that I'm going to do, I'm going to actually import the nav main menu array uh, in our component. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to the navigation menu, and here I'm going to import the actual array that we just created. So it is called nav main menu. So let me rewrite this to be able to actually access to the array, and let's save the file, and we should see our new menu. So I'm gonna reload the page to see the new element. So as you can see, we are having our menu ready to go with the URL. As you can see, when I hover over each element, so we're having at the bottom here the URL. So this is the second thing that we added inside our prompt. And the next thing that I'm going to change is these two buttons in here. So here we're having another prompt called the auth links, and this auth links has two properties, the login and the register. So the login prompt also I have another project, another object that has all of these properties to be able to access to them. Just to save some time, I'm gonna just paste the actual prompt, and this is what we are going to actually change. So for the login property, we're going to change, so we're going to make the rounded as full, and the URL link, so it's going to be an empty one, and the register object, so for the class name, so we're going to add a little bit of padding at the right and the left, and the rounded, it's going to be full, and the text, it's going to be actually sign up. So we didn't add the text in here because we're going to use the default text inside the component. So if we go back to the landing page, so as you can see, our uh, we're having our authentication buttons has been actually changed, uh, like has been actually changed with the all the styling that we added inside the class name. And the next prompt that I'm going to change, or I'm going to actually work with, is called the left add-on. So sometimes you want to actually um, add, so sorry, So sometimes you want to actually add some elements at the right or the left section of the button. So I added this prompt to be able to do so. And so the element that I'm going to add is the dark mode toggle like this. And I'm going to save the file. So if I reload the page, so we should have our toggle component at the right or at the left side of the buttons. So as you can see, we're having our mode toggle and we can switch from light mode to dark mode. So let's keep the dark mode on. And if we go back to our page.tsx, and here I'm going to add this one, dark, and we're going to add uh, the background dark blue. So this is the utility class that we added in the tailwind.config.ts, this one. So this is what we add, why we added it inside the tailwind.config.ts, and I'm going to save the file. And if we go back to our component and let's reload the page to actually refresh everything. So we should have our new color in our landing page. And the final thing that I'm going to actually add is I want to add a little bit of padding at the right and at the left. And let's go back to our code, and in the class name property, I'm going to paste the utility classes and I'm going to save the file. So as you can see, we're having a little bit of padding at the right and at the left. And also the last element that I want to update is the is sticky prompt. So I want to make it false because by default when like this navbar, so if I, because we're using the same navbar in my website, when I actually go down, as you can see, by default the actual navbar is sticky. So to actually deactivate this, or you can actually use the is sticky prompt and set it to false, and you are ready to go. So this is the nav bar. As you can see, we've been able to build it very quickly because we used this component, and also just to save some time for you, rather than typing and just copy and paste it all the necessary options to be able to customize our nav bar. And after we completed the navbar section, so the next section is the hero section. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to build stack and we're going to go inside the landing page section. We're going to go to the hero sections. So currently we're having four sections, and the sections that we're going to work with is this one. So I'm going to copy this code here and I'm going to create a new file here inside the components folder called hero section.tsx, and I'm going to paste the actual file. And so we're going to close this one. So the same for this file. And what I'm going to do here, so I'm going to actually call the component here, hero section for like this. So it already has the default options and the data inside of it. So if I save the file and let's go back to our landing page, and as you can see, our we're having our landing page, as you can see. So we need to provide the image, but this is the actual hero section. So all you have to do right now is just to change the prompts that this component provides, like we did for the navbar, and you are ready to go. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go back to VS Code, and here as you can see, we're having a lot of prompts that these components provide. So this component will do everything for you. All you have to do just to actually provide or use these prompts to be able to actually change or customize the hero section. So we're going to start by the main heading and the subheading. So I'm going to just paste these prompts. So as you can see in the main heading, we're having the text, and also inside this main heading object, we're having the class name as well. So the same thing for the sub hidden text. So if I save the file and go back to our landing page, so as you can see, we're having our new text, which is the hidden and the sub hidden. And the next elements we're going to change in our hero section is these two buttons. So if we go back to our code here, and here we're having the primary button and the secondary button. So the primary button here, so it is an object that has all of these properties. To save time, I'm going to paste the elements that we're going to be changing. So we're having the text, the class name. So the edges are going to be rounded fully with this background color. And also the button URL, so it's going to be empty. And the secondary text, here we're having the text, and the variant is going to be cost. Because we're going to use the variants that are provided by ShadCN, so you can be able to actually customize the button very quickly. So if we go back here, so as you can see, we're having our our new names of the buttons, but also the styling as well has been applied successfully. Next, we are going to change the icons of and the names of this part. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to again to our project and inside the data folder. So I'm going to create a new file called hero section data.tsx like this, and I'm going to paste. So I'm going to paste the actual file. So I need to add the const here keyword, and and the next thing that we're going to change is the bottom part. And what we're going to do, we're going to go to the data folder, and inside of it, I'm going to create customers, or let's name it hero section data.tsx, and we're gonna paste our array. So let's add the export keyword to be able to use it in the page.tsx. And in here, I'm gonna go to the social proof, and the social proof has the customers property, and we are going to call the customers array that we just created, and I'm going to save the file. And if we go back to our landing page, so let's reload the page, we should see the new data at the section. As you can see, the Google and Apple and Microsoft. So as you can see, we've been able to really create this very quickly. So if we go to the page.tsx, so those are by far the properties that we added in our component. And the next element that we're going to be adding is the utility classes for the class name. So we're going to be adding some of the properties to be able to get the gradient, and also to actually change the background when the dark mode is on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the component, and I'm going to actually paste the utility classes. So here we are going to actually to be able to get this gradient color at the bottom. So we're going to use the background gradient to top from this color to white. And the padding, it's going to be 160 pixel at the top. And it's going to be 100 pixel when the actual size screen is 640 pixel. And when the dark mode is on, so we're going to use these colors. So if we go back to the actual landing page and if we turn the dark mode on, so as you can see, we're having this beautiful color when the dark mode on, this gradient yellowish color from the bottom. So I think that the last element that we're going to be adding is this image. So to do that, first I want to show you if we go to the public folder and we open up the folder. So I already added the images. So I used AI to be able to generate them. So here I'm gonna paste the prompt to be able to actually access to the image, which is the hero image. So we're having the alt, the source property, and the class name. So if I save the file and if I go back here, so as you can see, we're having our student at the right side of the hero section. So we've finished our hero section, and if we turn the dark mode on, as you can see, everything looks really awesome for now by just reusing these components. So yes, I just copy and paste the prompts just to save some time because it's not something really hard and complicated to explain. So just to save some time and to show you how we can be able to use these reusable components to create this landing page. So after we finished our hero section, the next section is the about us section. So let's go back to ballstack.dev and we're going to go to so let's go back to the blocks page and we're going to go to the features section. And this is the section that we're going to be using. So all we have to do just copy this code here and we're going to go to the components folder. So we're going to create about us .tsx and we're going to paste the code in here. So again, like we did for the other components, to be able to use this component, we need to actually call the component that we just created like this. So I'm going to save the project. So let's go back to our actual project. Let's turn the light mode on. And as you can see, so this is the component that we took from this ballstack.dev. So all of the default data and the icon, the styling, it's going to be applied directly right off the bat. So the only thing that we need to do, as we did for the other components, we need to add data by using the prompts. So also, this has a lot of prompts that we need to actually use to be able to customize our component. And the next prompt that we are going to add or use is the features array. So first we need to create our array inside the data folder as we did for the other components. So I'm going to create a new file. So I'm going to call it about us data.tsx and I'm gonna paste the code. So as you can see, the code or the we're having a lot of data. So first thing first, I need to actually import the feature card or section 2 card type. So what we are saying that you were using this types so we can be able to constrain our array into the structure that we defined inside the feature section toolbar. So if we go to this interface, as you can see, so this is the structure. So it has the title, description, and inside of the description, we're having the text, the class name, and the truncate limits if you want actually to shrink or to set the numbers of string, and we're having all of the remaining properties. So what we are telling to Typescript that we want this array to follow this structure. And as you can see, we're having the class name, the title, the description. So just to save time, so I already like so as you saw, so I paste the code here. So to actually get the styling and everything in between ready to go. So after this, I'm gonna go back to the feature section, and I'm going to actually use the features array, and I'm going to actually call the array. So let me go back to the about us features. So this is the name of the array, about us features, and I'm gonna save the file. So let's go back to our website. So I'm gonna reload the page to see the new data. So let me go back to the feature section, and I'm gonna go back to the about us. So I think that everything is going well. I don't know why I'm not seeing the actual results. So here you go. We're having our new data in our hero section. So as you can see, right now we're having different colors, and the reason for this is because we're using the styling inside the class name. So that's why when I was building this actual component, so if we go to the component again, so that's why I added the class name of each card or each area so you can customize it from outside rather than going to the component and doing all of this by yourself. So this is why I meticulously created these data structure, even though that took me quite a while to be able to create this and make sure that everything is working. But right now you can actually create all of the elements very quickly without having to go inside the component. And now we're going to go back to our component to actually keep customizing our feature section. And the next items that we're going to be changing are the title and the description. And I'm going to paste them like this. And also I'm going to add some padding at the top. And I'm going to save the file. And let's reload the page to see the new results. So as you can see, our title and description has been changed. And also right now we're having a little bit of padding between the hero section and the about us or the feature section, whatever you want to call it. And the last prompt that we are going to be using in the feature section too is this section ID. But before this, I need to add some functions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new file here, and I'm going to call it utils.js, and I'm going to paste the functions that we're going to be using. So let's recall this. So I'm going to explain what is happening in this code. So the first function here is just removing the hash character from the string. So these functions were going to help us to actually use inside the section ID. So to be able to actually access, for example, if we want to click on About Us, we need to link the About Us, the hashtag and the About Us text with the section of this actual section. So you can be able to, when we click on the About Us, it's going to go right into this part. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add the section ID, and I'm going to open up curly braces. And so so this is the name of the function, get hash plus name, and I'm going to actually call the nav menu array. So the nav menu or main menu, so this is the array that we already created that we used in the navbar, and here I want the about us. So the reason why, so I'm going to go back to the why we created the area like this. So the reason why we created the area like this, so we can be able to actually have in the uh, the type safety or the IntelliSense, so you can be able to access to only to the elements that we're having inside of the array. So that's why I did so. So the last thing that we need to do, we need to wrap this whole function between this function called the remove hash. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add the remove hash like this. Remove hash. Probably I need to import the function. So let's redo this again. So let me get rid from this one, and I'm gonna add remove hash, and I'm gonna paste the function again. So I'm gonna save the actual file, and hopefully that's going to work. So I'm gonna reload the page again to refresh everything, and I'm going to click on About Us, and as you can see, I'm going to go right inside this section. So we're going to do this for the other section. So we're going to reuse these two functions that I added inside the utils.ts, and we're going to link them to the section ID. And here you have it. We've been able to create our About Us or features section, whatever you want to call it, which is the second section after the hero section. So after we added the About Us section, we're going to be adding the How It Works section. So first thing first, go to the feature section 3 inside the same feature section block or page. Just click on the copy code and go back to the components folder. So let me delete this, and I'm going to create a new file called how it works like this, and I'm going to copy the code like this, and then I'm gonna, like we did for the other components, so let me add first, let me add a comment here, how it works section, and uh, let's call the component that we just added. So I'm going to save the file. So let's go back to the actual browser or page, and we're going to reload the page to see the new to see the component that we just added. And this is the actual component. So the first thing that I'm going to be adding is the image. So I need to actually point to the image that we're having in the public folder. So to do this, we're having the image prompt. So the image prompt has the alt and source source prompt. So we're gonna point to the um, name of the actual file. So it is called student 2 dot png. So I'm gonna save the file. So hopefully that we're gonna see our image in the section. And as you can see, this is our student like showing up in our section. Next, we are going to change the data of the course that we're having in here. So as we did for the other components, so this component also has a prop called features array. So first we need to create our array. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go again to the data folder and I'm going to create a new file. So I'm going to call it how it works data.tsx, and I'm going to paste the actual code. So we're going to have an issue with the feature section card because we need to import the type. So we can tell TypeScript that this, so let me do this again. Feature section 3 card. So we're going to tell TypeScript that the each element it's going to be structured right like we defined inside the feature section 3 card as I explained in the how about us section. So this is the data we're having again the title, the class name, description, the icon property. And some of them we used all of the pretty much all of the properties like the button, and some of them we didn't, like for example the description. It also has the class name and the trinket limit, so we're not going to use this for our case. So once we created our array, so all you have to do just import the how it works item and assign it to the features array. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to call the how it works items, and then I'm going to go back to the actual page. So hopefully that we are going to see the data, the new data that we added. And as you can see, we're having our data right in the section. And next, we are going to change the data in the upper section of the how it works section, like the our mission and the title and description. So let's go back to our component. And again, this function accepts the description and also the title and the feature batch. So I'm going to paste all of these elements here, and let's go back to our page, and I'm going to reload the page to see the new data. And as you can see, our data has been updated in the component. So the last element that we're going to be changing, or then we need to add is the section ID. So we're going to do the same thing here. So all you have to do, copy this one, and that's the power of TypeScript. So this is why we created these functions. So all we have to do, just choose how it works, and you are done with this. And all I have to do, just go back here. So let me reload the page to refresh it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on how it works. And as you can see, I'm headed to the how it works section very quickly. And I think the last thing that I'm going to do is to add a little bit of padding, I think, at the top. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use class name and padding. So let's use 20 pixel. I'm going to reload the page to see uh, the new styling. So we added a little bit of padding, and here you go. We are having our section we built it very quickly, and also it looks nice. And the when we actually make the window size like this, so the actual, so we finished so far probably 50%, 60% of our landing page. So the next section that we're going to be adding is the courses section. So next we are going to add the courses section. So let's go back to the ballstack.dev, and in the block section, so let me go back to the main page, and inside the blog post section. So this is where you should go. And then at the bottom, so that the last one is this one. So this is the actual component that we're going to be using. And also, if you want to see, this is the docs, how to be able to use this component as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually create our component. So I'm going to call it courses.jsx, and I'm going to paste the code in here. And let's go back to the page.jsx to be able to import the actual components. So I'm going to add a small description here, courses section, and here I'm going to actually call the actual component that I just added in the components folder. And we should see our components in our page. So I'm going to reload the page to refresh it and get new elements. So as you can see, right off the bat, we're having this awesome and very good looking section. So if we turn back the light on, as you can see, so this is the actual section. So all you have to do is just to add new data and you are ready to go like we did for the other components. And this is what we are going to do. So let's go back to our project, and inside the data folder, so I'm going to create a new file called courses data.tsx, and I'm going to paste the file, and we're going to have an error, of course, because we need to import this type. So I'm going to rewrite it again to be able to access to the actual type and import it by Typescript. So this is the actual object that we're having. So it is pretty much the same structure that we used for the other sections. The only difference here, adding the stats object just to be able to actually render these elements. And also it accepts class name to be able to actually customize the object as you want to. So once we're having our actual, and also we are importing these images from Splash and Splash, which they are free to use. So this is basically the structure, and those are the class name, the class name for each object. So notice here we're using the BG dark blue, which is the utility class that we added inside the tailwind.config.js. So this is the one that we are using. So once we got our data, so all you have to do is choose the posts array prompt, and we are going to import this array called best courses data. So best courses data, and I'm going to save the file, and we should see our data or new data in our section. So I'm going to reload the page again, and as you can see, we're having our new data tailored to the actual landing page, which is the online platform. So the only thing that we need to actually change are the title, description, and also the feature badge. So let's go back again. Uh, So let's go back again to the actual project. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just paste the prompts or the text in each prompt, the title, the description, and the feature bag. And if I save the file, so we should see our new data into the upper section of the courses section. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to actually add the background gray 100 and dark background transparent. So I'm going to save the file. So the background, it's going to be gray. And when the dark mode is on, it's going to be transparent to take the main background color. So as you can see, we're having our a new color just to create a bit of difference between the upper section and also this section, which give it a professional look. And finally, we are going to add the section ID as we did for the other uh, components. And all I have to do here, I'm going to change this to how it works. And there you have it. We are having our section. So just like to actually test when I click courses, sorry, how it works. So we should actually access to the best courses. So the next section it's going to be testimonials. And before this, I actually solved the issue of when I click on the courses. As you can see, it's going to go to this section. And the reason why, because I choose how it works and I should choose the courses text. So now it is working. So let's go back to BallStack, and we're going to go again to the actual blocks section, and we're going to go to the testimonials. So we're going to click on this. So we're having two elements for now. So we're going to choose this one, and I think it looks a lot nicer than this one. And we're going to copy the code again, like we did for the other components. So that's the power of using reusable components rather than creating everything from scratch. Testimonials.tsx, and I'm gonna paste the code here. So let's close all of these tabs, and I'm going to add a really small description here. Testimonials like this, and we are going to import the component that we just added. So let me go back to the actual component to see the name. So testimonial section, testimonial section, and I'm going to go back to the browser to see if everything is working as expected, to see our actual section has been added into our landing page without any issues. So the actual page is refreshing and compiling, and so we can see our testimonial has been added successfully into our landing page. And we're going to do the same thing in here. So first, let's see all the actual prompts that we're having. So first, we're going to start by the testimonials array. First, I'm going to create a new file inside the data folder. So I'm going to call it testimonials. So sorry, testimonials data.tsx. I'm going to paste the code. So we want to make sure that we follow the structure that we have in the actual component. So this is the structure that we need to follow for each object, as you can see. So it has some nested object as well. So, and that's the power of creating reusable components is you do a lot of work like first, but once the component has been set, you can reuse it and it's gonna save you a lot of time. So after this, what we're going to do, we're going to import the testimonials array as we did for the other components, and we're going to choose the testimonial array prompt, sorry, and then we're going to actually import the testimonials array that we created. So I'm going to reload the page to see the new testimonials. So these are the new testimonials, as you can see, And the next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna add the title, the description, and change the badge component. I think we are going to stick with the data because it's already fit our the context of our landing page. So this is what I used inside the actual component. So never mind. And so the last element that we're going to be adding is this section ID. So we can be able to actually access to the section when we click the element inside the navbar. So we're going to do the same thing in here, and we're going to use the testimonials, and we're going to save the actual file. So let's go back to the browser, to the navbar section, to test if we click on the testimonials, are we going to get to the actual section. So as you can see, we're having this working as expected. So our testimonial section is working well. So the next part, it's going to be the newsletter, and this is what we are going to add. So now let's add the newsletter section. Again, we're going to go back to ballstack.dev. So inside the same landing page section, we're going to go to the newsletter. So this is the component that we're going to be using. We're going to copy the code. So we're going to create a new file called newsletter.tsx like this, and I'm going to paste the actual file. So we're going to do things a little bit different. So I should, because this is a server component, and I think that this I should use add the use client here because we are having because we have the use state in here. So that's something that I need to update into the code of the block. So since the page.tsx should be a server component, so we can't use our component in here directly. So what we are going to do, we're going to create another component called newsletter. So the reason why we can't do this, or if you want to use the internal state, so we can't do this because we need to create a use state hook inside this page.tsx, and it is a server component, so we can't do this. So the only solution for this, we're going to create another component, and in this component we are going to actually use the component that we can actually make this client component and use our state or external state in here. So after we created this, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to add the use client in here, and I'm going to import the newsletter component that we added from the website. So let's go back to our page and see that if everything is working. So I think I should import the news letter client. So I'm going to add the export keyword in here. So let's go back to the page.tsx, and I'm going to add news letter client like this, and we should see our component. So uh, so as you can see, this is the component has been added successfully. So now we can actually add the data or change the actual component by using the prompts. So let's go back to our code or our project. we're going to go to the newsletter client. And here, first, we are going to change the description and the title and the button. So I'm going to paste the prompts like this. And also one thing that I'm going to add, because this component we can use the input state from the component or make it uncontrolled a component, meaning that we can use the state externally outside of the component. So this is why we did all of this. We created this component inside the newsletter client component to make it client. So the main page can stay or remains server component because it is a mandatory thing for CEO. So here first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the input state. So I'm going to just call it set input like this, and I'm going to actually use the use state, and in here we're having this input element. So this input element, it has the caption, the class name, and also it has the set value and the value. So we can actually assign the value to the input. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add value as input, and it's going to throw an error because it's not really an error because one thing that I did while when I was programming this actual component. So here, what is telling us when we use the value property, we should use the set, and also we should use the onSubmit. So this is what we're going to do if I add the set value and assign it to the set input state. And let's actually use the onSubmit. And so it's going to be a callback function like this. And as you can see, the error has gone. And the signature of this function, it's going to be, it's having the argument as an email of type string. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just log in the email. So hopefully that everything's going to work well. So let me go back to our landing page, and I'm going to open up the console log. So normally when I click on so let me go to the test to the newsletter. So when I click on here, normally I should actually uh, actually see the the console log. So first, I forgot to add the actual email inside the inbox. When I click on Start Learning, as you can see, we can be able to log out our email. So which like like everything is working which means that everything is working as expected. So now we added these prompts. So we need to actually, so let me close this to be able to see the whole section. So we need to actually change the data of the testimonial of the newsletter, sorry. And we're going to do the same thing. We are going to actually add the array and assign it to the stats prompt. To do so, we're going to create a new file inside the data folder. So I'm going to, sorry. So let's try it again. New file, and I'm gonna call it testimonials or newsletter data.tsx. So let's paste our code in here, and all we have to do is actually import this array, and this is what we're going to do. And we're going to import our array newsletter stats. So this is the name of the array, and we should see new data in our uh, section. And notice in here that the borders has gone, because if we go to the newsletter, also we can we have the class name that is associated to each card to be able to actually customize it just from the array without having to go to the actual component. So the last element that we are going to add is the footer, and I think that's the uh, the most easiest one. So we're gonna go back to the ballstack.dev, and we're gonna go to the footer section here, and I'm gonna copy this code like we did for all the components. So I'm gonna create a new file called the footer.jsx, paste the code in here, and we're gonna call the footer, or the component that we just added, footer1. So this is the name of the component. Let's go back to the to see if the component has been loaded successfully in our landing page. So every time that I add something into the code, I really check like everything is working well. Then I go to the next feature. So as you can see, we're having an error because I think that I need to add the export. So the export has been added. So I don't know why I'm having this error. So the error is so has gone. I don't know, probably something that happened when the page was loaded. So if we go back to the page, as you can see, we can be able to see our actual footer. So the only thing that we are going to do is to actually change the data by using the prompts that this components provides. So as you can see, we're having too many prompts: the footer navigation, the handle, the section ID, the social links, the website, which is the name, and the website description. And this is what we are going to do. First, we need to add the data as we did for the other components. So again, inside the data folder, so I'm gonna call it footer data. So as you can see, by doing this, so your code is organized, your files are organized, so each thing is its own folder, which is going to make your landing page or your project maintainable in the long term. So here I'm going to add the array, and then we're going to use this array and assign it to the footer navigation. And since the name of the array is footer navigation, so let me go back to the, so it starts by my, so I'm gonna do this again, my footer navigation. Let's save the file again. So let's see that everything worked well. So we should see our navigation footer at the bottom. So as you can see, our footer navigation has been loaded successfully, and we are going to add the remaining prompts so we can have the footer 100% completed. So again, we're going to go back to the code, and I'm going to paste the prompts like this. So this is the name of the website, the description, the handle, and the class name to style a bit and add some stylings to the footer to make it look even better. And especially for the background when the dark mode is on, and the padding at the left and the right. And also when we reach this width, it's going to be 20, meaning it's gonna be 80 pixel, and the padding at the top and at the bottom, it's gonna be 97 pixel. So if we save the file here, as you can see, we have our footer completed. And as you can see right now, we're having our whole landing page has been created very quickly. and everything is working as expected and as I showed you in the demo of the application, and it is totally responsive. And one thing that I didn't show you, we can access to the menu by using this cheat component, and all of the elements look nice. So we came to the end of the project or the video. So hopefully that you got some value and you liked this content. And right now, you can be able to create by using both stacks. So this is something that I recommend, and this is a project that really that I liked, and it was one of the most important thing that I've created in my web development career. That's going to allow me to create projects a lot faster and focus on building the features rather than the most consuming part, which is the UI.